Hey, what's going on everybody? It's ETAPRIME back here again. Today we're going to be taking a look at Sonic Frontiers running on the Steam Deck. Now, this is a game that I've really been excited for. I'm a huge Sonic fan. Not exactly sure how I feel about the game. I'm not that far into it, but the first thing I did was install it on the Steam Deck to see if it would run. Now, it's not Steam Deck verified as of making this video, but I'm pretty sure it will get verified because it does run pretty decently. Now, it really depends on what kind of settings you're using and the level you're on. Some of these levels we can actually go up to high settings and I haven't run into any issues running at 60, but in the overworld here, while it's raining, we've got all of this open area. I did have to drop it down to low settings, and resolution scale is also set to 50%. Unfortunately, we don't have a ton of graphical settings that we can mess around with. Basically, we can turn some filtering on and off, we can set it from high to low, and we can go through with the shadows. But we've got an overall setting, we've got some resolution scale, and just enough to get it running really well on the Steam Deck. So real quick, I'm going to head over here to my options, and I'm just going to go ahead and flip it over to high. This is going to turn everything to high. We're at 1280 by 800, but our resolution scale is still going to be set to 50%. So we're not really rendering this at 1280 by 800. And at high settings in the overworld, as you can see, it's hard pressed to hit 60. But like I mentioned, on some of the more closed-in areas, we can go to high settings without any issues at all. Still using that 50% resolution scale, but here, you want to go to low, and we're going to turn this to 60, because when you go to low, it'll turn it to 30 FPS, and that's about it, except for that resolution scale set to 50%. Now, on a smaller screen like this, it doesn't look bad at all, but if you were to run this on a larger display with 50% resolution scale, given that we're at 1280 by 800, it might look a lot worse, but since we've got such a compact 7-inch display, it's really not that bad on the Steam Deck. And as you can see, swapping it back to those low settings, we're back up to 60 FPS. So we'll get into some real gameplay here. And by the way, just to avoid any kind of copyrighted music, I did turn the music off. I do like the soundtrack, super catchy like a lot of these Sonic games are. But we're still at those low settings, 50% resolution scale, and through here, really good performance. I mean, this is very playable on the Steam Deck, and even with the graphic settings at low, it really doesn't look that bad. But like I mentioned, on levels like this, we can go back up to high settings, given that we keep that 50% resolution scale. I'll get up here in a second and swap those settings out, but yeah, if you take a look at that FPS, constant 60 here. And if you take a look at the performance overlay at those low settings, we're only pulling a maximum of around 14 watts total from the Steam Deck itself, so we could get some really good battery life out of this thing. Let's head into the settings. We'll just go up to high. And I always want to make sure that it didn't default to 30 FPS on that frame limiter. So we're at 60, high settings, 50% resolution scale, and we're getting 60 FPS out of this game. When this game was initially announced, I really didn't see an issue with this running on the Steam Deck. These aren't super intensive games, and every once in a while you will see a dip. Those are the shaders caching, given that we're using Proton here. Remember, this game hasn't natively been ported over to Linux yet, so we are using Proton. But overall, not a bad performing game on the Steam Deck, and I completely understand that this is available for the Switch. But one of the main reasons I picked up the PC version was for my wife. She's more of a Sonic fan than I am. She grew up with Sega, I grew up with Nintendo, and I asked her, do you want to buy it for the Switch, or do you want to try to run it on the Steam Deck or your laptop? She mentioned it would be nice to run on the Steam Deck, so I went ahead and picked it up from Steam. And yeah, it does work pretty decently. But that's going to wrap it up for this quick video. I really just wanted to show this off in case anybody was thinking about picking this game up and wasn't sure how it performed on the Steam Deck. But yeah, I mean, it is playable. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And like always, thanks for watching.